Hey everyone, it's Ian K back again with another one for you. Ready for the Saturday night live stream, guys? Normally a Friday night thing. We're doing it just a little later in the week. Actually, a day later, I should say. Let me make sure you guys can see me okay. You guys can hear me okay. I want to make sure that there is no feedback and everything is looking good. Guys, give me the thumbs up. Let me know if you guys can see me, if you guys can hear me. It looks like the volume is moving on my side, and everything appears to be okay. So let me jump back on over here and see if you guys are saying so, just to be on the safe side here. As soon as I get that thumbs up, I'll definitely continue on. I want to make sure that you guys are locked in visually, and you guys can hear me. Good, we got the thumbs up from Mankind357. Thank you so much. We'll go down the line in just a second here to see who we've got on the stream right now. For those of you guys who don't know who I happen to be, my name is Ian K, creator, producer, and host of Peep This Out reviews here on YouTube, and I have a lot of blast doing what I do. If you guys haven't seen any of my content, there are plenty of playlists that you'll see set up above me here. Actually, in the playlist link, you guys can find and see all the goodies there. Lots of fun food reviews, and I definitely spend time. I have a lot of fun doing this stuff here. So if you're not subscribed to my channel just yet, please consider doing so. Hit that subscribe button over there. It'd be greatly appreciated. Let's go down the line and see what we've got on here in terms of how many peeps we've got rolling right now. Let me jump on over real quick and see. Looks like 22 people watching on this one here so far. Not bad for something that wasn't scheduled per se, except if you see my most recent videos, you probably saw I was commenting that I was going to be on tonight. Normally this is a Friday night deal, and I have a lot of fun on Friday nights with all of you guys. But naturally, because last night was Infinity War, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Spoiler free completely. I don't want to ruin it for anyone who may be going to watch it later on tonight, or if you have seen it already, we'll keep it light. Let's see who we've got on here right now. Mankind357, how you doing there? Nice to see you on here. Bad Joe Coke, very cool. Nice to have you on here as well. Panda Blaze, recognize the avatar in the name. How you doing? Great to see you. Let's see here. Going down. But where's the weed? Hey, Daddy. There you go. But where's the weed? Jason Rios, what to do, what to do? Bad Joe Coke. So, Ian, I've never been on any of your live streams. Anything to expect? Well, normally we've got some food reviews that we do live here on the streams here, but tonight's going to be a little bit more of a hangout, talking about the movie and just kind of answering some questions and relaxing, because my normal stream is Friday nights, typically Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. on our side here on the West Coast. So if you're on the East Coast, that's going to be 3 hours earlier for you naturally, so 5 p.m. And then Central is 2 hours earlier, so was that 6 p.m.? If I can do basic math real quick. But every Friday, typically 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I usually send out a link or something hours before if there's a change or if there's anything going on. But typically Friday nights, I like to carve out my little area on my channel here around that time. So let's see, Jency Molina, nice to have you on here as well. Going down the line, Hedwig, etc., etc. There was a huge spoiler for all the peeps in this chat. This is a reminder to buy popcorn and soda because this movie rules. Yeah, we're going to get into Infinity War. Some basic thoughts here in just a second here, for sure, Hedwig. But without a doubt, it doesn't feel like a 2.5 hour long movie, and it was definitely a blast. Vengeance Falls 96 in the house after Panda Blaze was counting down. Thanks so much for that. I appreciate it. Let's see, John McCormick. Very cool. If I can just reiterate that Thanos demands your silence. Please, no spoilers of any types in the chat here if you guys happen to be who have seen it already. It really is a movie worthy of that type of hype, because there's a lot of things that happen in this film that you really want to be surprised about, and it really is awesome. So, yeah, without a doubt, please, please, please. I'm still feeling kind of numb from it as well. Collected the comics and read the Thanos' Quest Infinity Gauntlet years ago. I have all of those issues, and I've read the story, so I know it pretty well. And just feeling numb. So just for those of you who do know, obviously, for just a real quick thing here, the Infinity War is based on the Infinity Gauntlet, Jim Starlin's story from years ago. I have all of those issues. I believe it's a 6-issue miniseries is what it was, if I remember correctly. I have like a whole box full of comics with everything then. But very different story from what we actually got in the movie. But the essence is there, with everyone trying to go against Thanos for putting these the stones together into the Infinity Glove Gauntlet, the glove, and then basically taking control of the universe and doing whatever he wishes. So does he succeed? Who knows? I'm not going to tell you here, because obviously I don't want to ruin it. But it is definitely an action-packed, jam-packed movie that doesn't feel like 2.5 hours long. So we'll get into just my quick thoughts, even though aside I just gave you some quick thoughts about it. And we'll get into it in just a bit here. So let's see. Lauren J in the house. We got Crystal Clear. Peep This Out. Candace Cherry, thanks so much for jumping on as well. Chris Esposito. Gerald. We got David P. Frankie James, nice to have you on here as well. And let's see. Bus 7332. Street tacos tonight, possibly. We'll have to see. I'm a little under the weather right now, so I've been kind of going light the last couple of days. So we'll see about the tacos, but more often than not, it could be some Mediterranean food tonight. I'm kind of big on getting a little Mediterranean rice and some skewered chicken kebabs or something like that. That sounds good. Let's see. Going down. Everything is good. Everything is good. Panda Blaze, can you collaborate with Connor? You know, we actually haven't collaborated in a long time. The last thing I actually with Food Central TV was when Connor was out for VidCon, actually a couple of years ago, and we actually did these jalapeno poppers from Jack in the Box, which was something just to kind of check out because he had never been. So we actually walked over and we did a little quickie video. I did my version, he did his version in there as well. But we'll have to see about something in the future, for sure. Let's see. Candace Cherry, feel better. Sounds delicious. Yes, 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 absolutely. For those of you guys who may have seen my Insta story last night, when I was actually at AMC Theater, where I saw it, they have like the IMAX experience. I do want to go back and rewatch this film on a regular IMAX screen because it's worthy of that for sure. But the IMAX experience is the next runner-up, next best thing. And it felt like that experience the way that we were sitting and where we were. But I got to say, last night, AMC has got these two drinks that they're offering there in the alcoholic beverage section. One is called the Mad Titan. One's called the Mighty Hero, Mighty Superhero, I think it was. I was recommended to get the Mighty Superhero because that one was actually the better of the two. Now the Mad Titan, actually, for those of you who don't know, that's actually the nickname for Thanos in the comic books, is the Mad Titan. So it was a purple drink, which was really perfect. It looked great. But I have to admit, the superhero one has like the kind of the cross between the blue and the red and a little bit of the lighter color mixed in. It was really, really tasty. And I was kind of sipping on that throughout the film. A little messed up this morning. I didn't realize how strong it was when I got up. But it was good. It was good. Gotta say here, really, really good. Bad Joe, Coke writing reviews. Anyone else watching on an empty stomach? Yeah, including me doing this on an empty stomach, because dinner will be coming after, for sure. Okay, Mankind, this is the one time I didn't listen to iDubbbz on his Content Cop. You know, I've seen a few comments of people asking if I've seen somebody shouting me out from a while back there regarding, I think it was an amateur food review Content Cop issue that Ian put together, which incidentally, his name is also Ian, so kind of cool how it's, ironically, he's actually using my Peep This Out phrase every so often, and basically, quote-unquote, shouting me out. But yeah, I appreciate that very much. But yes, I am aware of that video. A lot of people are. A lot of people ask that on my videos, and I actually always say, yes, if that's the one from like a year or 2 years ago, I remember what that was. So, yes, very good stuff. Let's see. Lauren J., how do you get retracted? That's if you decide to delete a message on your own before I get to it, actually. So I don't get to see that stuff there, which I do have a few things that are built into it for certain language and things like that as well until I get a mod. But naturally, we want to keep it classy, keep it clean, you know, all that good stuff there. Panda Blaze, you and Connor are the two best food reviewers in my book. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. And for all of you guys taking time out of your Saturday right now to join me here for a little chat for a little bit here. We'll be on for about an hour, give or take here, about 45, 50 minutes or so. And I wanted to come on and do my weekly, you know, say hi and that type of thing. Like I said, typically we do food reviews on here, but because this one was pushed from my normal day to tonight, and naturally a good 3/4 of you, I think, are going to be watching either this on replay or are watching Infinity War right now. We'll have to see about picking that up again for this coming week. I know there's a lot of things out there. I'm actually in post-production on a couple of reviews now, so there's a lot of things that are going to be coming that we'll have to talk about there. Speaking of which, let me bring up here, because it's been a busy, busy week for content, that is for sure. Just a couple of quick highlights here, just because it matches up with what I'm looking at over here as well. Guys, the Memphis Barbecue Thick Burger from Carl's Jr. is back in stores. If you guys haven't seen already, if you guys have a Hardee's in your area, or Carl's, naturally, you'll be able to find that there. This was something that was apparently, I guess, 5 or 6 years ago that it had first come out. And I had never tried it even then, and it was before I was doing my channel, so this is the very first time I was doing that. So if you guys haven't had that burger yet, definitely give that one a shot for sure there. If you haven't seen my review, of course, you can find it here on the channel. It's the most recent one that I just released yesterday. Going down the line here one more time. I'll try and go in between and keep up with as many comments as possible. I'll try and acknowledge as many as I can, because what you're seeing on the screen is a little different from my side slightly here. Frankie James, oh my god, me, I'm starving. Yes, I'm starving too. I don't like to, eat and rush and get back and be on the stream and kind of be like blah. That's why I kind of do that. So I always wait to eat after the stream, because I always like to kind of discuss things with the wifey, and we kind of relax and talk about things and talk about the next steps for things. So it's always fun to do. Lauren J, if you have mods, I'd like to be one, please. I would definitely consider, Lauren, for sure. We'll have to see what we can do. Can you please do a review of the new gluten-free fans? What is that, Lauren? What is that? Panda Blaze, you've made my night. Thanks, Ian. Keep at it. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. And like I said, you're going to hear it throughout the stream. I'm so super appreciative of you guys jumping on the stream, spending a little bit of your evening with me here tonight. Normally on Friday nights, but on a Saturday is a big deal. If you guys are tuning in to live streams on Saturdays, that's a big deal, especially this time of the day. So I appreciate you guys jumping on here right now. I really, really do. Yes, Sonic, I'm going to be checking out the new Solo Star Wars story. I saw the new trailer they had actually in front of Infinity War last night. Looks like they added a couple of extra scenes there. It just seemed a little bit longer to me. But yeah, it looks like a fun movie. I don't know how forgettable it's going to be after it's done, or if it's going to be something I'm going to go back and watch again. But it looks decent. I mean, we all know the end game about whoever his love interest is in this movie is not going to be who he's going to be with. But for what it is, as a younger Han Solo, it should be pretty interesting to see. Rachel, I got to The Habit for dinner. I'm actually planning one of my next reviews possibly there. I've been kind of blocking on paper and doing some things with that. So we'll have to see if I make it over there and check out one of their things there. They have a couple of things I'm curious about that I haven't done. And I've actually done the golden chicken, which was one of the ones that one of the only ones that I've done from The Habit. So good stuff there. They have a new gremlin burger from The Habit. It's off their secret menu. I'll have to make note of that. A gremlin burger from The Habit. That's interesting, definitely. Rachel, Disney owns everything. Yes, apparently. They are probably the biggest, most profitable entertainment company on the planet. And if the deal from 20th Century Fox goes through and Disney absorbs them, we're going to have to see what that's going to mean for the bottom line, because obviously prices are going up everywhere in terms of cost there. So just getting into Disneyland alone, I'm sure, is going to go up. I mean, they're just making money hand over fist. So, aside from the Memphis Barbecue Thick Burger, if you guys haven't had that one, again, it is back after a few years. Arby's Bourbon Barbecue Chicken Sandwich, which is the return of their bourbon barbecue there. Guys, let me know in the chat here what you guys think of that, because they've brought bourbon back every so often there, and it really is some pretty awesome stuff. They definitely do that Kentucky bourbon pretty well over there. They've got the return of the Triple Stack, which was one of the ones that I had done early on. And that one was, I believe, 3 different types of meat, if I remember correctly. Obviously, it's triple, but it was a pretty sizable sandwich. But the new addition to what we've got right now is going to be the chicken, which is the buttermilk chicken. And honestly, how could you go wrong with buttered barbecue chicken? Like, the crispy type of coating, absorbing up all of that Kentucky bourbon barbecue sauce. Of course, it's going to be tasty, but they decide to throw some cheese on it, which you can't really taste, and some candied brown sugar bacon on top of that. So really, really good stuff, guys. I got to say, really, really good stuff there. Hedwig, once Arby's, Ian K, hook me up. I'll see what I can do. Yes, definitely going to check out Deadpool 2. I'm excited to see that the newer trailer was in front of Infinity War last night, and it looks awesome. And really, really going to be fantastic. Magic, Wacky Wacko, we're going to be getting into a little bit of Infinity War in just a second here. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on it. Overall, just the feeling of it, what I think it could mean going forward, and without giving anything away, of course. Without a doubt, definitely a fantastic film. Spoiler alert, it's fantastic film. Really good. Okay, and then the last couple over here, we've got the KFC Crispy Kernel Sandwich there. That was a debacle and a half. I remember when I had filmed that one, just very small. I mean, not impressive in terms of the price there. Naturally, I paid a la carte, so obviously I should have gotten it in the larger box. I didn't really feel like getting the combo that day. It is what it is, and that's kind of how it was. But it's not a bad chicken sandwich, mind you. If you do get that combo, it is pretty decent. I just think For what you're getting there, they shouldn't be charging a little extra for the Georgia Gold or the Nashville Hot or the Smoky Mountain Barbecue there. Those should be just options that you've got. I get it's a little bit of an upcharge, but given the size of the sandwich, I think they can get away with just including it. I gotta be honest with you, it is what it is. So, pretty fun stuff this past week. A lot of burgers, a lot of chicken, now that I'm noticing it here. There's just a lot going on there. On top of the live stream from last week, guys, which was a lot of fun checking out the Barcel, which is the makers, an offshoot brand of Bimbo, which is a brand that also does Takis, believe it or not. It's a whole big chain. But we did the jalapeno cheddar popcorn and the churritos, which were anything but churro-like on that there. Now I take the back. I think I gave it a 4 is what I gave that last week. Probably want to elevate that to maybe a 6 or so. I've been kind of eating those throughout the week. I thought I was going to take them back. But as much as they don't taste like churros, they're really just more like regular corn snacks. I think if they were marketed as like mini Takis or something like that, it'd be good. But I kind of rated it based upon that. So they're not bad, but like I said, don't expect any cinnamon or churro-like flavor with them. You're getting a little bit more of that lime, a little bit more of like the spice. But that's pretty much it for that. So fun stuff going on there. More fun stuff coming. Probably one more review I'm almost finished with before the end of the month. Probably either on Monday, most likely on Monday. If not Monday, Tuesday. There's a chance it may slip. But no spoilers. I don't want to give anything away with that. I always want to keep you guys surprised. But you guys will see it most likely. If not on Monday, then definitely Tuesday, which is the beginning of the new month. It should be, I believe. So, let's see here. Sonic, you made my day. I appreciate that. You guys made mine just by being here tonight. Going down the line, Hedwig, etc. Josh Brolin is making money this year. Yeah, definitely. Thanos and Cable. That is just ridiculous. Let's see. Rachel, have you rated anything a 1 or a 2? I have, but they are usually pretty obscure, smaller items. Things have to be really, really ridiculous for me to rate it less than like a 5 or 4. I mean, things don't go out of their way to be bad unless there's a problem. So I don't usually go that low because I don't really think anything really is that I get personally. That's just me. I don't like to be overly harsh for the sake of being overly harsh. I'm not one of those types of people. But I have rated some pretty subpar things over the years that I've been doing this here for sure. David P. might have to make a Jack in the Box again after the stream. You should be jumping over to get that Memphis burger for sure, Davis. That's what you should be getting. That thing was pretty satisfying. Pretty satisfying. Larry Nguyen, have I been to the ArcLight in Pasadena? Yes, I have. Not lately, though, but I definitely have. Panda Blaze, take it easy. Thanks so much for jumping on. Freddy's Food Reviews, the burger looked good, even from Hardee's, I think. Yes, Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, they have the dual release with this one this time, and it was really, really good. Really good. Sicario, yes, the second movie coming out in June, Hedwig, that's right. He's got some good stuff coming on there right now. Lauren J, good night, everyone. Much love from Kuwait. Thanks so much for jumping on all the way in your neck of the woods. Stay safe, and I appreciate you jumping on here, Lauren. I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys, let's discuss a little bit of Infinity War. Spoiler-free, of course. For those of you guys who are just tuning in, we're just going to be giving some quick thoughts on this. I'm not going to spend too much time because there's just a lot that I'd want to talk about because a lot happens in this film that really warrants a longer discussion. But being that the movie just came out officially late Thursday night, and then tonight, last night and tonight, everyone is going to be watching it this weekend. Flat out, probably one of the best Marvel movies ever made by far. I mean, it really is. It feels like the culmination of the 10 years being put together. And I was really blown away. I mean, it is about a 2.5-hour long movie, and that's before previews, which previews felt like almost a half hour. I kid you not. There were all types of previews. Of course, all the Marvel movies. Deadpool 2 was in front of it there. Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and a few other things. But just a huge, epic set piece. Every single scene was just epic in its own right because of the set pieces, the amount of graphics, the amount of probably the most state-of-the-art visuals I think I've ever seen in a movie like this. It really felt like the stakes were high. Just absolutely blown away by you know, what they were able to fit into the movie. Now, let me preface this whole thing by saying that the movie that it's based on, or the story that it's based on, was from way back. I want to say like in the late '80s, I believe it was. It's been a while since those issues have come out. But the Infinity Gauntlet really kind of changed the game back then. Now, there were way more superheroes in that story than they can put into this movie. But what they put into this movie, just about every single character from all of the movies that they've done, and even some minor ones, actually got a little bit of screen time. for this to let you know that where they're from is, you know, the franchise that they're coming from here. So I don't want to say anything more on that because it really was cool how they integrated a lot of different things there. So again, not quite the same story. It's just the same type of theme, meaning that all the Earth's mightiest heroes are banding together to stop this basically this guy who's bent on universal genocide, I should say. They're really from destroying 3/4 of or half of the population of the galaxy because of what he feels his motivations are. Which I got to tell you, Josh Brolin nailed this part. Out of all the villains, I think that Marvel has done in the past there, and there's been a bunch that have been kind of like two-dimensional, nothing really crazy, nothing really like, you know, memorable. Josh Brolin's portrayal in this film was the motion capturing alone, just the feeling, the emotion, the way that he emoted, just the overall look of him on screen, the scale, the depth, everything about it did not scream cartoony. I mean, it's a crazy action movie. I mean, the set pieces, like I said, are mind-numbing. If you blink some of it, it's got the Michael Bay syndrome a little bit, where if you blink, you're going to miss a couple of things, a few shots of certain punches and things here and there, because it's cut very tight. But you can tell so much love, so much, you know, heart and soul was poured into this film, and every single character just gives it their all. I mean, there is just the introductions of all the major players, the way they do them are fantastic, and just the overall look of the film feels like it is a major upgrade over the original Avengers film. It really makes the original Avengers and even Ultron, which really wasn't that great of a film. The second film was just, nothing against Joss Whedon, it just was all over the place, and I wasn't a fan of that one. This one is the pinnacle in terms of just the feather cap and on the top of the crown that Marvel has in terms of box office receipt. It was just a fantastic film. I mean, just overall crazy. But again, a very different story compared to what the Infinity Gauntlet was, because for the main thing there, and I don't want to say a major character that was missing from this, because this major character hasn't even been introduced yet. There's a couple of them that haven't been introduced yet, and one of the major ones that was in the Infinity Gauntlet, which was pivotal to that story, is nowhere to be found in this. And the thing is, if you never knew that, it would be none the wiser. It's not a big deal, because that character, from what I heard from one of the directors of another movie in an interview, and I don't want to say which movie because I don't want to spoil it, said that character would be coming probably down the road, and that's what they're planning. So the fact that they didn't actually do that and include that character was pretty. I was interested to see as the movie went what they were going to do and how they were going to do this. But I got to tell you guys, for the fact of, you know, shoehorning all of these characters into the film for what we did have, it was essentially all of the franchise film characters that they've had the last 10 years, all in one movie now. Especially including, you know, the Black Panther, which was an awesome film also. Having him, who's basically just coming out on DVD, I believe, May 8th, I think it is, a couple of weeks from now. It's crazy to think that these characters are just living and breathing in one film, and they were able to do in 2.5 hours just to kind of do what they did. And I got to tell you, even though the story was very different, a lot of set pieces, a lot of things were very different from the comic book, a lot of the essence was there. It was just crazy to see all these characters interact in the way that they did there. So, you know, all the stuff that you saw from like Spider-Man being in a different suit, which is something that harkens back to something else from the comics, which was really kind of cool to see. Really just a fantastic film. And I got to say, just to kind of wrap up this little quick thought on it here, by the end of it, there is a lot of shocking things that happen, and everything you're hearing about, the hype is real on it, because it is what it is. But for those of you who know, you know, what the Infinity Gauntlet is and what you can do with it and things like that, you know, naturally we all know that there are a lot of other movies coming out in the Marvel's slate of films in the next few years. So whatever you think you may see in this film as like, oh my God, things always have a way of kind of working out the way that it is. So don't take it to heart necessarily, per se, you know, that's going to be the end of it. But I got to tell you guys, the after credit scene, that's what you're going to want to stay for, because that actually sets the tone for what I think we're going to be in for the next movie. Because obviously Avengers 4 is going to be next summer. They've already filmed 3 and 4 together. So it's going to be, you know, obviously just the continuation of what just happened there. And honestly, the way that they ended the film, you had to stop it somewhere. Guys, this movie is a 2.5 hour fight. Literally. I mean, it is 2.5 hours of mind-numbing action with like little tiny breaks in between, just to push the story along and to give you the set pieces of what we're going to do next. It was that ridiculous. Hedwig, yes, the movie had a lot of humor. I absolutely agree with that. It had a lot of laugh out loud moments. There's a lot of cool things that are said in this film that at first I was like, it feels a little off-putting because it's the end of the world, yet they're kind of bantering back and forth. But when you think about how the comic was a little bit, you kind of have to have a little bit of levity in there here and there, and the writing is pretty spot on for it. So it makes sense, and I definitely think it was warranted because it does make for just an entertaining film. I mean, there's a lot of comedy, there's a lot of heart, there's a lot of soul, there's a lot of feels, so to speak, with this film. So even for the casual viewer watching a film like this, just coming into it and having not watched any of the other films, you'll feel the intensity and you'll feel the drama, you'll feel that connection with a lot of the characters. Now, some of the characters I wish they could have done just a little bit more with, because if you guys have seen Civil War, that's my all-time favorite Captain America right there in terms of just the Marvel movies. I really am a fan of Civil War. I thought they did a really nice job with that one. I wish they could have done a little bit more from what that film established with this one. Now, granted, you know, we have a huge mad titan coming to the Earth to blow things up and to kill everybody, so obviously some things have to fall by the wayside. And I think they're saving a lot of what I was expecting to see because of what had happened in Civil War. And if you guys haven't watched that, watch it. We're probably going to see that in Avengers 4 because they have to actually, you know, things have to occur for that to be a reality. The movie, like I said, was all over the place because there's so many things happening in so many different places, with the main conflict being on Earth, but there's a lot of other things that you'll flash to and things that go on. But guys, just to wrap this up, not quite the Infinity Gauntlet story in terms of just the actual events. There's a few things that are similar, but the overall feeling of what you have, and just really what it was just absolutely flat out amazing. I mean, you can't get it all in one viewing. And I was really focused the whole time. I mean, 2.5 hours, like, with hardly blinking and really getting into it while I was sipping my mighty superhero alcoholic beverage, was awesome. John McCormick, I really like Doctor Strange in this movie. You know what? I did not care for Doctor Strange's solo flick. And if they don't make a second movie of that, I'm cool with it. I was not feeling that movie at all. I didn't really feel like the villain was good. I know that the guy, Mads Mikkelsen, I think is the guy who's his name, plays Hannibal Lecter on Hannibal, the TV show that was on, as well as he's going to be in Death Stranding coming out on PS4, which is pretty awesome. He plays a character in that as well. But Doctor Strange was badass in this movie. He was. They gave him a lot of screen time, and it needs to be, because when you're dealing with, you know, the Marvel Universe in all of its magical, epic glory for what it is, when you have like superpowers and abilities and stuff like that, you need to have, you know, abilities of the other guys that can do the same thing. It's one thing to be super strong and to be really, really tough and that type of thing, but to actually have magic and to have blasts and to have stuff like with vision and stuff like that, you need that type of thing. Scarlet Witch, you need that type of, you know, that conflict. So Doctor Strange was perfectly fitted for this film. Lots of motivation from the comic coming from that one, and I gotta say, Benedict Cumberbatch, even though for me he doesn't quite look like Doctor Strange, I know he's got the white in the sides, you know, and the hair the way that it is there. I just think that he's just a little too skinny for the role. There's some of the characters that I feel like I wish they had a little bit more bulk on them, just a little bit. But they do a great job. Don't get me wrong. It was good. But just an amazing performance again from Josh Brolin. Fantastic film. Definitely, you don't need me to tell you to go run out and see it. You guys are going to be running out to see it there. Anything less than a 9.5. I would probably say is blasphemy, because it is that well done. The acting is amazing, the pacing is amazing, the action is amazing, and just overall what it sets up at the very end, especially after the credits, for those of you who know your Marvel history a little bit, and are not just watching the stuff online and seeing what may be in production and may be planned for the future. You're going to have a lot to enjoy and a lot to look forward to. It's going to be a long 12 months waiting for Avengers 4, I can tell you that. So fantastic film. Easily something I'm going to go check out again. Like I said, on IMAX, I have to watch this movie again, because it really sets the tone for like all the other superhero movies coming out. It's going to be a very tough act to follow something like this, the way that it's done. Easy recommendation in IMAX, Hedwig, for sure. Like I said, the IMAX experience at AMC for me does the job just as well. But watching this film and the epic scenes that you've already seen in the trailer, like in New York with the whole ship landing with that spinning in there as well, you gotta witness that on IMAX, because of just the depth and the level for that there. Spider-Man doing the flipping, doing that type of thing as he gets his bearings, and just the overall quote-unquote money shots, all the hero shots in this film. You need to have that on as big a screen as possible. They're not kidding when they say you got to watch this in IMAX. It's definitely worth it, for sure. Let's see. Bonnie, Bruce Banner, the Hulk was my favorite in this one. Yeah, he was good. I want to discuss a little bit more on the Hulk once the movie's been out for just a little bit, because I have a little nitpick about about Mark Ruffalo with this. Now, look, I know it's the script and what he's given, but I want to talk about that. I'll probably bring that up next Friday when we're on the stream. Normally, we'll talk about that. Made me laugh a lot. Bonnie Italian, yes. Yeah, I think Mark Ruffalo was the comic relief in this film for a good chunk of it, to be honest, and that was something that we'll talk about next week for sure. Critical East Japan, Paul's in the house. Thanks so much for jumping on. Josh Brolin is always a great actor. Everything that he's in is good. I agree. I agree. Philly Feet, what's poppin', brother? What's poppin' with you, my friend? Thanks so much for jumping on. I appreciate it very much. I'm going to be on for a little while longer here. Wanted to jump on and say hello to you guys. Normally this is a Friday night thing. So I definitely enjoy my Friday night chats with you guys. It's always fun to do. I wanted to jump on tonight because of Infinity War last night. Those are the tickets that I had purchased a month ago. Shows you how crazy this movie is going to be and insane. If this gets anything less than like 230 million this weekend, domestic, I'm going to be surprised, because it really was nutty how quickly this one sold out a month ago. And right now the hysteria to watch it, I'm sure, is even greater. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Freddy's Food Reviews, like the action from Deadpool, but the humor was cringy for me. Yeah, Deadpool was definitely, that was an experiment at the time that turned into a feature film. For those of you guys who don't know, that there was something put together that got so much fan reaction that everyone lost their mind, and you know, Ryan Reynolds did such an amazing job that it just needed to be made into a film, and it became a huge film. And the second film is tracking to open even more than the first one. Which is crazy to see. It's just crazy to see. Mr. Chode, how you doing? Manza-san, how you doing there? Great to see you on here as well. Philly Feet is chilling in Arlington, Texas for the NFL draft. Having a great time. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. A lot going on there right now, for sure. John McCormick wasn't a fan of the Solo movie either. And that's what surprised me about Infinity War. You're probably talking about... I think my stream is catching up here right now for the chat. They're probably talking about Doctor Strange. I just feel like to have him fully engaged in his powers after one movie and be such a major force in this movie was a little quick for me. That was my only main thing with the end of the first movie, or the only movie that Doctor Strange has on its own. But granted, you know, Disney, they've got the money bags to make films out of just about anything there. I mean, who would have thought you would have seen Ant-Man and then Ant-Man the Wasp, which is coming? It's just crazy. Some of these quote-unquote B-level characters are being elevated to like A-level status. I don't want to say Iron Man was a B-level character, but that was a very interesting film or character to choose to begin the whole MCU back in the day. Because Iron Man is good, don't get me wrong, but you know, with Spider-Man, you know, with the Hulk, you know, with the X-Men and everything, I know the rights were all over the place. That may have been part of the reason, so you got to start somewhere. But now you have, you know, Iron Man being the main thing that Robert Downey Jr. is making just buckets of money on. I guess it's printing money. It's just ridiculous. Hope they do special when the Blu-ray comes out. They most definitely do. They always do. And Critical Eats, yes, Deadpool raised the bar for sure. Frankie Jane, what would your superpower be? Oh, wow. What would my superpower be? Personally, probably flight. I guess if I had to pick one. Flight, super strength, maybe? That's a loaded question there. I have to come back to that one here at some point. I got to think about that. I think I've always kind of thought, you know, what would I do if I had superpowers? You know, maybe something that's depth-defying and I can just, you know, do something kind of crazy and just, you know. Flying, I think, without a plane or without anything holding you would be kind of crazy, personally. Manafan, I believe, yes, Deadpool really interjects the satirical nature of the raunchier side of things, of course, yes. R-rated there, for sure. Fine Italian, Black Panther is still in the theaters. I bet it's going to make some more money after Infinity War. Any of these movies will, including just the sales of the Blu-rays and DVDs, for sure. For sure. Yeah, there's so much that they can do. And naturally, once the Fox deal closes with Disney, you know, X-Men and the rest of them there, once they all get rebooted and all of those things as well, it's going to be amazing to see those things together in one. I can only imagine. I can imagine seeing whoever's going to play Wolverine next, having a little cameo of Hugh Jackman somewhere in that. Mark my words, they're going to do that, because Hugh Jackman left such a mark on Wolverine ever since back in the day that not have him do a cameo of some type in a future X-Men or Wolverine movie would be crazy. I know they want to kind of distance a little bit to give the new Wolverine, whoever that's going to be, time to do his thing. But you got to have a little bit of that redo and that kind of that connective tissue in there as well. But that would be crazy to see there. Hugh Jackman apparently is done with the character, and naturally because he's closer to the 50s now, it's time to kind of move on to something else. That's why I think the whole thing with the Infinity Gauntlet and time and things like that, they're going to kind of redo a few different things, which in actuality, when you think about X-Men First Class and any of those movies, Wolverine actually was that actually predates all of that stuff as well. So they can flip-flop in time and do whatever they want technically there. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Be cool to see Silver Surfer make an appearance. Yeah, we'll see if the Surfer makes an appearance for sure. I know the Fantastic Four sequel didn't do that well, but he was actually a cool-looking character even then. Hope the new Wolverine looks more like Danny DeVito. You know, I really hope the new Wolverine is a lot closer to the comic book. Nothing against Hugh Jackman's portrayal. He was iconic in the role, especially with the outfit. But we never saw the, as I'm hitting the microphone here, we never saw the costume fully, even though there was a deleted scene from the second film that came out, which was really, really awesome. The Wolverine, which was really just a take on the whole Japanese thing when he lost his girl, and it was really pretty faithful overall to that Silver Samurai. But Hugh Jackman is a tall guy. I mean, he's like 6'4", 6'5". I'm almost 6'3", so I think he's like maybe an inch or two taller than me. So Wolverine, and Critical knows this, Paul knows this already there, Wolverine's like a little Spitfire. He's like a little angry dude, a little angry buff dude. I don't want to say he's like the Kevin Hart of the MCU. Maybe he's a little dude who's angry, but he's definitely someone who can who needs to be just a little bit closer to that type of size. I think that's what makes the visceralness of when he gets crazy with the claws look as cool as it does in the comic. But naturally, you know, Hugh Jackman did a fantastic job with it for sure. Heard the news tonight's expected to hit 243 million and will be the second only to The Force Awakens for the biggest opening day. Yeah, I don't think anything is going to topple the next or Star Wars for right now, because that was a cultural phenomenon just because it was coming out as the real sequel to Return of the Jedi, or the story that Disney decided Lucasfilm, you know, was going to put out for the sequel to Return of the Jedi. So it's hard to imagine any other film getting close to that, much less this one. This one was great, don't get me wrong, but you know, Star Wars, that particular one is going to be extremely hard to top. Let's see. Who would want to take over the role of Wolverine? Who could you see playing the role? You know, personally for me, if Tom Hardy wasn't doing Venom, I would have said Tom Hardy in a heartbeat, to be honest with you there, because I thought he did a fantastic job as Mad Max, and I really felt like he really kind of looks like the role. I can kind of see the character in him a little bit, even if the hairdo is not there or the mask is there. The height, you know, the build, you know, that type of thing. I think he was much closer to that. But say what you will about his role as Eddie Brock in Venom, this is actually going to be a different alternate take on the creation of what Venom is, and that's the only thing with that movie. I'm excited to see it. I thought the second trailer looked dynamite. It was really kind of, it interjected all the parts of the trailer that came out initially about a couple of months ago that didn't include like the symbiote pulling things and that type of thing. They just basically put that together, and then at the very end is the reveal showing the outfit and basically him being consumed, and you see the face, which looked freaking awesome. Now, I've got those original issues of Amazing Spider-Man 298, 299 when Venom was introduced, and I got to admit I was super like over the moon when I saw the final look of what he looked like when he says "We are Venom" at the end, which was awesome. You know, it looked really, really cool with the tongue and the saliva and everything. It looked great. Now the question is, where is the spider on his chest? Because this one can't really be connected to Spider-Man because it's a completely different thing. So I don't know if that's going to be something they'll eventually connect to it there, because the whole thing with the Fox deal being connected with Disney now, maybe they will see them together at some point because this is a different version. We'll have to see there. Hugh Jackman looks so much like Clint Eastwood, and would be cool to see a similar tough guy Western role. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that actually was down the road. I agree. I definitely agree. It would be something there. Joe Stoker, I love you too. Appreciate it very much. Venom looks good as well. Can't wait to see that one. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that. But like I said, Venom itself, different storyline. The original origin of Venom was actually off-world. It was actually from back in the day, and I remember this pretty well. During the I think it was Secret Wars. Spider-Man went into space and came in contact with the symbiote, and it came back and attached himself to Spider-Man, and it attached itself to Spider-Man. And as the story goes, it kind of infects him a little bit there. Some of the shades of Spider-Man 3 that came out in the early 2000s there with Sam Raimi, the trilogy there, they kind of touched upon that a little bit there, meaning he was influenced and became evil, and the suit kind of took over and became a black outfit, you know, changeover. But then at the same time, it left Spider-Man. He was able to kind of fight it off and then became connected to Eddie Brock, who was a little bit more of an evil type of character. His persona wasn't as wholesome as Peter Parker, and then eventually he would become Venom that you see the way that he's portrayed in the film there. So that's, in a nutshell, the Cliff Note version of the original origin of Venom. This movie version is based upon the redo of the Marvel Universe, where basically it's the Life organization that has experimentation and things of that nature. But the characters that you see in that preview look like they're going to become some of the symbiote-infected villains in the film, and then the anti-hero, which is Venom. That's what makes him, quote-unquote, the hero of the film, which is strange how they're doing it that way. But, you know, this was predating the whole deal, I think, with Fox and Disney together. So I think that's where a good chunk of that is coming from. So eventually maybe we'll see a connection of some type to it there. We'll have to see. Venom's always been a favorite in the comics for Philly Feet. Me too. Visually, just looked amazing, always. Really, really fantastic. I've got my Amazing Spider-Man 300 signed by Todd McFarlane, actually, at a convention here in Los Angeles years ago. It was the famous one where it has 300s all around the circle, and it has Spider-Man doing his thing in the middle. Had that signed by Todd McFarlane back then, which was awesome there. I still have to take out some of the stuff that I have here to show you guys. So we can have one of these streams that kind of go over some of the pop culture stuff. All of these crazy Marvel movies and DC movies that you guys see now are all based upon, you know, content from like the 80s, which is like my childhood. It's crazy. It's crazy to see that. Some versions of these stories are on the silver screen now, finally. It's just nuts. Love food like I do. How you doing? Great to see you on here. Thanks so much for jumping on. Joe Stoker, what's your favorite food from a fast food place? Always going to be In-N-Out for me here on the West Coast, Joe. Huge fan of the Double Double and Double Double Animal Style fries, without a doubt. Will we see Venom versus Spider-Man, i.e. Superman versus Batman one day? Hey, you never know. Like I said, with that whole deal going on with Fox and Disney, once they merge them all together, you know, that would be an amazing thing to see, because I think it needs to happen. Only because of what Venom looks like. I mean, guys, everyone and their mother knows pretty much what Venom is in the comic world. So they would expect to see Spider-Man in some capacity, right? I mean, it has to happen that way. Joe Stoker, Double Devils on my life. You already know. I would do more than those 3 flames there, Joe, just so you know. Because that is straight fire all day long. In-N-Out is definitely the bomb. Larry Nguyen, are you going to the Halal guys for dinner? Not tonight, not tonight. I know Mediterranean's a thing. I'm probably gonna do Zanku tonight, to be honest, Larry. That's gonna be my thing tonight. A little bit of chicken shish kebab, some rice. Kind of keeping it light, just a little bit. Like I said, I've been a little under the weather the last couple of days. It's been crazy hot here too. It feels like summer's beginning to kick in, and the start of the Marvel universe doing that for the weekend is really making it feel like summer's already here because of just the fireworks in that film there. Cheesy segue, but it's true. A cheesy segue. Oh, let's see here, guys. So much fun doing these streams with you guys. As always, the stream will be available afterwards. Most likely, if I can get this out tonight, I might. Depends upon what time I get back. If not, it will be up probably like mid-morning tomorrow, to give you guys some time, because like I said, everybody's going to be watching the Avengers tonight for sure. Philly Feet had his first ever Whataburger last night. Nice, 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 nice. The only time that I've seen Whataburger, and I've mentioned this, is when I went to Galveston, Texas a couple of years ago for CraveCon. And I remember driving from the airport to where we needed to be. Galveston's kind of like a little island, kind of like off to the side, a little bit there, right in front of the coast. So it was really kind of cool to drive. But on the way there, I saw so many Whataburgers that I wanted to stop and do like a quickie review of something, and I just couldn't do it. So one of these days I will. One of these days I will. Let's see. Joe Stoker going to get the onion rings. Jack in the Box right now. Yes, the panko onion rings are amazing. I did that review back in the day. Good stuff. Sonics fan, enjoyed Infinity War. Can't wait for the end part of 2018 with the intro of the new characters in the Marvel Universe. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens for sure. Like I said, there's a lot they can do. They've already filmed 3 and 4 together, so you know it was a very long shoot from what they were saying. I don't know if you guys have been watching Jimmy Kimmel this past week, but every single night he had a whole bunch of the cast on talking about stuff. It was great. Frankie James, oh my God, everyone's going to Jack in the Box tonight because I'm there after the stream. That is hilarious. Get yourself a munchie meal. Hook yourself up with that double grilled cheese. That's one of the only munchie meals that I've ever actually reviewed. That grilled cheeseburger, I think it was. It was really pretty tasty. That was back in the GTA 5 days when that came out. The first time on 360. No paper fan on the new generation there. I'm talking about playing it on the 360. Just had Chick-fil-A for the first time. Never going to McDonald's again, Alex B says. You know, Chick-fil-A is definitely my go-to. I talk about that often. But that classic chicken sandwich for $3 in a pinch is not a bad deal. I got to admit, it's $1 or $2 less than the Chick-fil-A if there's no Chick-fil-A around you. And it really is pretty good. And they really do it right. I got to be honest, it really is a really, really good sandwich. The KFC crispy kernel, like I was talking about, I wish was just a little bit bigger, and I think it'd be solid as well. I mean, it is solid, don't get me wrong, but it really needs to be just a little bit more larger. Definitely a little bit more larger, for sure. Megan Hardy, how you doing there? Thanks so much for jumping on. Thanks to everyone who's been on here. Going down the line, if I've said hello, consider this a second time, just in case. Did anyone go to McDonald's grand opening today? Rachel, what is that all about? Let me know here in the chat. I'm kind of curious. What's your favorite video game? Joe says here. Wow. You know, I got to admit, I'm always a fan of Doom from back in the day, so I definitely dig the new version of it. I know it's been out for a while now, but that is pretty much permanently burned on my hard drive on my Xbox One. So I do like Doom for sure, but I am into also Call of Duty as well, especially the more realistic versions of it there. Nothing against the whole hyper jump boots and all that crazy stuff. It's cool, but I definitely dig World War II, which is out now as well. And whenever I do have a chance to play, it's usually super late at night. During the day, I'm either doing with what I do in my life as well as just filming and editing and getting stuff together, with a little bit of late night editing as well too. But definitely gaming late night is a blast to do with the headphones on for sure. Favorite go-to item at a barbecue place? It's gonna have to be barbecue pork ribs for sure, or rib tips. You know, those are pretty good too. Going down. I saw there's a place, a male selling Philly cheesesteak, so I had to see what that was about, just like at home. Actually, there is Philly's Best, which I actually had a few days ago, which is really, really good stuff. Not quite authentic, but it really is cheesy and meaty and tasty with all the peppers and all that good stuff there. So good deals. Frankie James, grand opening, $1.99 Happy Meals between 11 and 4. That's craziness. There was a McDonald's grand opening in OC today. Wondering if anyone went. Looks like Frankie did. Yeah, I guess that's, had no idea. That's craziness. Craziness. Matawix, how you doing there? Ken Dama got a copyright strike for playing music on his live stream yesterday. Wow. Yeah, that's no bueno. Even if you have stuff running on your computer in the background, if it's copyrighted stuff and it's picked up, yeah, that's a no bueno on that one there. I wonder how long the stream was for that. Let's see here. Pho tonight, laugh out loud, Call of Duty. Actually, you know, pho sounds pretty good. Aside from the Mediterranean stuff, maybe soup with some noodles and some beef and some chicken. Am I making you guys hungry? Because you guys are making yourselves hungry by typing all of this here in the chat. I gotta tell you. I feel World War II is good and Doom is a classic. Without a doubt, Joe. Without a doubt. Just a huge fan of that stuff. Including Wolfenstein. The new Wolfenstein is actually pretty awesome as well. But all the newer age versions, they're more movie-like cinematic experiences compared to what they were back then. But decent there. Thoughts on Panera? Panera makes some good stuff. I gotta admit, their broccoli cheddar bowl... broccoli cheddar and cheese, you know, concoction they have in their bread bowl is one of my favorite things I like to get there. So Panera is not bad. Little bit on the pricey side. Little bit on the pricey side for some of it. Philly's Best is Corey's from the new number 6 from Cheese go-to spot in Chi-Town. Yeah, Philly's Best is tasty. It really is pretty tasty. They typically, you know, whenever you get into like a $12 or $13 range when it comes to combos, and that's really kind of where it's going right now. For those of you guys who may have seen my Memphis barbecue thick burger review that I put out yesterday. A combo, if you took a look at that board when I did the close-up of it there, sandwich alone was $6.99. The combo was $9.99. $10 for a combo at a fast food joint. It's borderline fast casual at that point. Including some places like Applebee's, some places like TGI Fridays, which I don't really go to. I don't know if you guys do. But places like that offer promos for like $7.99. Even places like Red Robin, you can get like a $6.99 tavern-style burger, and I've done one of those in the past. Craziness that you can spend less there than at fast food places, because I guess the convenience thing is what they're pushing with that, right? But you know, I got to admit, if I'm, well, maybe I take a little bit of that back. If I'm going to get a fast food combo in the $10 range, the Carl's Jr. and Hardee's brand, I think I would probably once in a great while do that, because I mean the thickness of that 3rd pound Angus patty was pretty awesome. Guys, check out my review of that review of the Memphis barbecue thick burger. It was pretty awesome. It really was a very, very tasty burger for sure. Thoughts on Smash Burger? I definitely dig them. I don't go there as often. Incidentally, the only other review I have at Smash Burger, Joe, is actually on, I think it was a bacon cheeseburger I did, and it's actually an Avengers theme with that one. Back when I was kind of incorporating a lot of movie clips and things like that in my videos, you'll see some things where I talk about a Hulk smash, I think it was, and there's some things with Avengers in it. So take a look at the Smash Burger playlist, and let me know what you think of that one there. Drop a comment on that video, because I definitely make it a point to reply back to as many comments as possible on there. I have a lot of fun doing that, by the way. Moe's or Chipotle? I would say Chipotle, because I've only had Moe's once, and it was in a airport in Florida coming back from my honeymoon with the wifey. We didn't. We had a little bit of a layover waiting, and we decided to try it. And I'd heard about Moe's with their famous queso, which I didn't get. I actually just got a regular burrito, but wasn't impressed then. And granted, it wasn't. It was an airport version of Moe's, but even still, it just wasn't the best for that there. So not really a super fan of Moe's, but if they do happen to be in the area at some point here on the West Coast, I don't really know of any that are. If I happen to travel and see one, then I'd consider giving it another go for sure. Let's see. I did do a Nashville hot review, Joe, actually, for my KFC. Definitely hit the KFC playlist. For any of those, if you guys are curious to know if I've ever reviewed any of those things, just in the search bar right up above, just type in Peep This Out, space, and the name of what it is. And chances are, if I've done it, I've got over, believe it or not, 666 pieces of content now, which is crazy to even say that out loud because of 666. But it's just nutty to think about how much I've created, and 99% of that is food reviews, because that was some earlier stuff I did with movie reviews as well as some tech review stuff as well. So take a look at that for sure. Critical just got Fat Burger open in Tokyo the other day. Nice. I'm looking forward to some reviews. Looking forward to that, Paul, for sure. And for those of you guys who have not checked out Critical East Japan, make sure you jump on over. Great content there. Ken Dominic from KBD Productions was there recently. They have a whole bunch of content that's been trickling out ever since that trip ended about a week or so ago, a couple of weeks now. But some great stuff over there, Critical East Japan. Great takes on what you guys would see here in the States, but overseas, as well as just generally the culture of what they have over there, which is pretty awesome. So without a doubt, good stuff there. RDR Food Reviews, what's up with it, brother? Thanks so much for jumping on here. We're going to be wrapping up in just a couple of minutes here. I've been on for about an hour, about to get some food here, but thanks so much for jumping on. Again, like, share, comment, and subscribe. RDR Food Reviews in the house as well. A lot of great peeps that are jumping in here right now. Like I said, this was a little bit of an impromptu. I kind of mentioned it last week. I'd be on around this time, but my normal time is 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Friday nights. I wanted to make sure I give you guys the goods this week, give you guys my thoughts on the Infinity War, the latest Avengers flick that's out right now. So you guys, for those of you who may be jumping on here right now and have missed all of that, spoiler free, of course. You guys will be able to find this replay in the community tab here on the channel, as well as the live stream replay playlist that I have set up. That will be most likely either tomorrow mid-morning or later on this evening. Probably going to be tomorrow morning, I have a feeling. So something to look forward to for that, for those of you guys who want to relive some of the chat, to talk, get a little more introspective of what I've got going on with my thoughts on the film, and just relive the stuff we talked about and the stuff that you've seen scrolling on your side. Even though you guys actually see this on the other side of my window here, I like to have the actual little translucent thing here, just so it gives you a little bit of something extra there as well. So good times here on the stream tonight for this hour. Thoughts on Five Guys? Very, very solid burger. I don't want to say they're overrated. It's tasty. but just okay. Honestly, it's not like the be-all end-all of burgers for me. I like them. I get them once in a while, but their bacon is bomb. Their bacon is bomb, I have to admit. They're more of a classic backyard barbecue style. I think the way maybe it's in my head ingrained because of the way that it's wrapped in the tin foil and that type of thing. So good times with Five Guys for sure. So guys, another couple of minutes and we'll wrap it up. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of you guys here on the chat. Really have a blast doing what I do here. It's just so much fun for me to do. Let's see, last couple here. Tony, wish you could try this place here in KC where they deep fry tacos with powdered cheese. Wow. You know what? If you can send me a picture of something like that on social media, tag me on something. You guys can find all of my stuff down below and where you can find me. And Instagram, Peep This Out Reviews. That would be awesome. Facebook.com/Peep This Out. Twitter @Peep This Out. I'm all over the place. So yeah, that would be great. If you could tag me, I would love to see that, Tony. That would be something awesome to see. I would like to eventually kind of travel around and do some, food reviews out of the area and do stuff like that. That's actually one of the goals that I have. Naturally with any type of donations and Patreon stuff there, if we can eventually get those things going and things actually work out that way, I can make it easier to do. That would be a blast too. So if it's something you guys want to see, it's something that I'm thinking about. Believe me, it'll be a lot of fun. The wifey has been thinking about getting away for a while too there, and I think it would make sense to do something soon like that. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Getting hungry with all this burger talk. Matawick's live drive-thrus are the new thing. You know what? If the locations I went to had a stable data connection, I would consider doing that, Matawick's, believe me. But I like editing my stuff together from there to give that to you in the beginning and then and go on from there. David Carrillo, last couple here. Best fast food guacamole. Togo's? Probably not Togo's. I've had Togo's in the past. As much as people don't like to pay extra Chipotle, I do like the Chipotle guac. It is pretty good. So I have to say it really is pretty tasty there. Go to Chicago. You need to try Portillo's Italian beef sandwich. You know what? I would love to try all of these things that just sound amazing right now. It's making me feel like I want to kind of test my system and go for something other than chicken for dinner tonight because of what I'm seeing with all of you guys having on here. So we'll have to see about doing something like that in the future. But I would love to check out some of these things that you guys are mentioning. I'm sure you guys all know your local haunts and all your local spots for food and places that you'd recommend. So without a doubt, once this video goes live again on the replay, drop the comments down below and let me know some of these places here because I would love to write some of these things down and have a little bit of kind of like a plan. If I am going to be traveling to some places, that would be something to do. It really would. I would love to have kind of an idea of some of these things and maybe even some shout outs on who recommended it and that type of thing as well. We'll have to see. All right, so let's see here as I'm wrapping this up. Philly Feet, thanks for having me, and until next time. Definitely next Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is going to be the time. Have a nice one, Philly. Thanks so much for jumping on. RDR Food Reviews for jumping on as well. Critical East Japan, Matowix, Jennifer. We have a whole bunch of people that are in the chat here. I'm just going to scroll to the very top really quickly over here. John McCormick, Bad Joe Coke, Mankind 357, Panda Blaze, who's probably bailed already. I know that was about halfway in. Jency Molina. You guys are all amazing, amazing over here. So guys, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. Like I said, just some quick thoughts on the Avengers Infinity War. We're going to be back to doing some reviews next week. Coincidentally, as Jency Molina pops in, we'll be doing another live food review. I'll be picking something. I've been trying to get back over to BK to get that frosted frozen Coke, but their machine coincidentally is always down. I don't know why. It's like the second or third time. But like I said, I wanted to spend some time tonight as a quickie talking about the film slightly and really kind of, connecting with you guys and having a good time. And to thank you all again as we approach the 15,000 subscriber mark. It's been another record month of just movement in terms of video views and just in general. You guys are just continually just making me feel like I'm doing the very best that I can possibly do to put out as much content in the format that I do as much as I can for you guys. I have a lot of fun producing my stuff, putting it together, and it means a great deal that you guys take the time to comment, to watch, to view, to thumbs up if you haven't already, especially to this one down below. That would be great. If you guys haven't thumbed up this live stream yet, which I probably should have said an hour ago, but we'll just go with it. But anyway, I'm going to tune out for right now. Time to grab some dinner, and we are definitely going to be catching up soon. Social media, keep track of all the fun stuff. New review coming out most likely on either Monday or Tuesday. Depends upon what I can finish here. I'm in post on a couple right now, and I'll see what I can do for you guys. I definitely try my very best there. But we have the Memphis Barbecue Thick Burger that's out right now. And that is something for you guys to check out if you haven't already. And definitely go give that one a shot if you haven't, since it's back after 5 or 6 years now, which is kind of cool. So with that, I'm going to close out the stream. Let me switch over to my portal here. And then I'm going to get ready to grab some food. But guys, again, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. It means the world to me that you guys do. And next Friday, Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. is when you'll find me back here again. We'll do another live food review back on format. And then the replay will be live either later on this evening or most likely mid-morning tomorrow, because I'd like to dress it up and do things to it before I release my stuff. So with that, this one is officially in the can for right now. If you guys haven't seen Infinity War yet, the new Avengers flick, you need to be jumping on over there and doing the right thing. So jump on over there, check it out. We'll have a lot to talk about. And again, I'll be talking about a few spoilerific things next Friday about it, including something about the Hulk that I wanted to discuss. So with that said, that is it. It's ENK closing out the live stream officially here, Saturday, the 28th of April. And we are going to jump into content again next Friday. As always, I've got brand new content every single week here on my channel. So while you stay tuned for the next review coming real soon, in the meantime, stay frosty. And Avengers Assemble, baby. Go watch it.